plane carrying 149 passengers and 8 crew bound for the Kenyan capital has crashed shortly after takeoff. There were no survivors. Well, correspondent Donald Quarter joins me live now in the studio. Don, you've been following this story really since we heard about it, which was a number of hours after it actually happened, which is another point. But what do we know? What is confirmed here?
Well, the latest thing that Ethiopian Airlines is reporting is that the CEO has arrived on the crash site, and he confirms personally that there are no survivors. Now, to put this into perspective, it's reported that citizens from 33 different countries died in the accident, the majority being from Kenya, Canada, and the EU. Now, this was one of Ethiopian Airlines' regularly scheduled flights, and the Ethiopian Secretary of Transportation did a press conference earlier today and told us all what the government knew at that point about what was going on. Let's take a listen.
The incident took place at 8:38 when the flight took off from Bole International Airport, and 6 minutes later it got lost in terms of radar surveillance.
Now, although the plane crashed only 6 minutes after takeoff, it took emergency services 2.
Right, and that 6 minutes could mean Satan, sacrifice. Them people probably were sacrifices, more than likely. And then look how long it took for the paramedics to get there.
Whole hours to get to the site. Now, this is especially shocking because reports were saying that it only crashed about 50 kilometers south of the takeoff zone at the airport. One witness even told the BBC that
people were dead when they hit the ground.
The result of this delay was because the fire was so strong that people weren't able to approach the plane on the crash site. The office of the Ethiopian Prime Minister already reacted to this on Twitter. They said that they give their condolences to the families of those who lost their lives on this plane.
Don, the big question is, of course, now causes. What happened? Do we have any kind of... there's going to be an investigation, of course, but early stages of why this happened?
Yeah, well, that's another surprising detail. Hours later, and we still have no details available as to what caused this crash in the first place. It's unclear whether or not the pilot released a distress signal or how the airline was able to report these details to begin with when they had not even reached the site in the beginning.
It's a very new plane, by the way, Don, isn't it? Like, it's one of the newest models, so that's another aspect we have to bring in here too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually called the Boeing 737 MAX, and it's a new addition to the Ethiopian fleet, only from back in July of last year. And, you know, a lot of people are drawing parallels to the plane crash that occurred last year in Indonesia with Lion Air's model of the same plane. The
exact same plane?
Yeah, the Boeing 737 MAX. And just to give you a couple details about that, it was a very similar situation. The plane crashed in Indonesia only several minutes after taking off, and over 180 passengers were killed. Now, Boeing also reacted to that and to this situation. Back then, last year, Boeing issued a warning a year later about this model of aircraft, saying that the 737 MAX might have a tendency to do a nosedive against the will of the pilot of the plane. And Boeing Airplanes actually also responded on Twitter to this specific crash, saying that the company is aware of the accident and they're closely monitoring the situation.
All right. That's the first video. I'm going to bring out the scriptures after I play the second. Let me see.
At least 15 people have been killed in a nightclub shooting in Mexico. The attack happened at La Playa Men's Club in Salamanca, in Guanajuato state, one of Mexico's most violent regions. Witnesses say armed men pulled up in 3 vans, burst into the club, and opened fire. Wounded people rushed out, says this local resident, running for their vehicles. And then the whole night they were taking bodies out. Criminal violence in the region centers around the theft of fuel from a nearby oil refinery. Earlier in the week, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador launched an offensive to capture a local gang leader thought to be involved in the fuel trafficking.
All right. Yeah, this is basically just more prophecy coming to pass. Jake and them lose it when there's when they want like one of their family members die, or two, and then they be crying forever and ever and whatnot. But the Lord got it to hundreds of people are dying, at certain places, and sometimes 10 to 20 people die at other places and stuff of that nature. But it's all prophecy, you know. So this is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Right, and the word prophecy means to say what's going to happen before it happens, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right, in the Bible, because it's written. Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Right, so we're not worried about what people say they're going to do against us. That's their imagination. And the incredulity is the unbelief. So, whether they believe or not, we still going to do this work. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, right? And there's a lot of people that's been dying lately, and in this case particularly, you might have had people on them planes or them Issacharites that didn't heard the word and didn't believe in it, and they didn't die. Behold, said the Lord, I will burn, because we on YouTube. When you bring up YouTube, all you see is GMS this, GMS that, And if you don't see GMS, you will see some other camp out there that's speaking on being Hebrew Israelites. So this word is out. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death. And that's prophecy. The Lord already told you he's going to bring sword, famines and death and destruction. And ultimately America going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles right along with Israel and other nations. It says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Right, so this is why this is happening, because this whole world is wicked. You got lesbians running around, transgenders. Who else? People doing bestiality, merging with robots and shit, taking the RFID chip, worshiping idols, religion, worshiping man. You got people worshiping man. Yeah, all types of wickedness going on in this world, and the Lord, like, what more could you do? So, now the Lord is judging this place. Therefore, thus said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Right, so the brothers that have been dying for this truth are crying unto the Lord, as well as the brothers that's still doing this truth, So the Lord is taking action, and this is the next scripture. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Right, and the Christians believe, and not only the Christians, other religions believe that Satan is doing this killing, or these people are doing these killings, when it's actually Yahweh Shema Rashai doing these killings. The Lord is sending his angels to take care of his dirty work. And it's all being ran and controlled by Yahweh Shai through the Spirit of Yahweh. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, because people have to pay for the sins that they've committed in their past lives. There's a such thing as reincarnation in the scriptures, you know. So these people that's being judged, a lot of them are being, saved from what's to come, you know. But this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, it is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Right, so that's just an example of reincarnation. The spirits that's in these people are old spirits. The Lord sent them back down for their judgment. Let me see if I want to take this. I should have started at verse 4. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. The cycle of life. But the earth abideth forever, right? Because the earth is not going to be destroyed. There isn't going to be no comet hit this place and destroy it. It says, the sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Right, so there's nothing new here. Everything is reincarnated. This is Exodus chapter 20. Verse 5. I'm starting at verse 1. Exodus 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord, Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Talking about the Israelites, the blacks, blacks, and Native Americans, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Right? So when you come back, as your children, in the reincarnation, the Lord judges you. So, in the case that we're in, we have to pay for the sins that our forefathers did, because we are our forefathers. In the same case with them Issacharites and, them other people that got judged, because the Lord not letting nobody slide. We're in the time of judgment. But with that being said, all praise to Yahweh by Shema Shai, by Shema Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.